Benji, it's Oma here again, and we're going to read another lovely story. This one is called Alexander's Outing, and it's about a little duck, and I wonder which one it is. Who's Alexander? It's about ducks, Mummy Duck and her ducklings. This one seems pretty excited. I wonder what's going on with this duckling. This book's written by Pamela Allen, Benji. And Pamela Allen has set this book in a town called Sydney in Australia. And all of the places that she talks about in the book for Alexander's Outing are all actual places that you can go and visit in Sydney. Let's have a look and see what's going on. I'm not too sure about this one. I wonder what's he flapping around for. Let's have a look. Alexander's Outing. Oh, and let's have a look at the picture. Can you see that big city in the background? That's the Sydney Opera House here. And here's the Sydney Harbour Bridge and all the yachts that love to sail on Sydney Harbour. And here's the big city. And look at this. These gardens are beautiful with palm trees. And lilies and ducks in the pond and ibises. That's the Botanic Gardens. The Botanic Gardens is a beautiful garden in Sydney that you can go and visit, and it's really lovely. Let's read this story. Alexander lived with his mother and his 4 brothers and sisters in the most beautiful place in the whole of Sydney. But Alexander's mother was bored. Now there's a problem. What's she going to do? She wasn't happy. She'd be busy with all these babies and she's bored? Let's see what happens. So one warm sunny morning, they all set out in search of adventure. What are they going to come up with? Past the bottle tree, boab tree, it stores water in there. Through the iron gates and along Art Gallery Road. Stay close, take care, quacked Alexander's mother. But Alexander did not stay close, and Alexander did not take care. He straggled behind with his head in the air. And you see him. He's not paying attention. All his other brothers and sisters are. But he's just looking around, not paying attention, not looking at his mum and his other siblings walking behind mum. In College Street, a man rushed out and stopped the traffic. Stay close, take care, quacked Alexander's mother. But Alexander did not stay close, and Alexander did not take care. He straggled behind, and he did not hear her. By the time they reached the other side, Alexander had disappeared. Oh, quack, 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 quack. Where had he gone? Alexander's mother quacked and quacked, Alexander, Alexander. And all his brothers and sisters quacked and flapped and flapped. But they couldn't find Alexander anywhere. Well, that's a big problem, isn't it? This is what happened. Look at this. When they stopped making such a din, they heard a faint and distant quack from deep down in the earth. He had fallen down a big hole. A young man and a middle-aged lady came over to see what was going on. Quack, 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 quack. Poor old Mama Bird, Mama Duck. Her baby is down in the hole. What can she do? What can these people do, I wonder? The young man tried to reach Alexander, but his long arms were not long enough. Quack, 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 quack. The middle-aged lady had an umbrella, so the young man tried again with his long arms and the umbrella, but They weren't long enough either. Oh, quack, 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 quack. A young couple picnicking in Hyde Park heard all the commotion. They packed up their basket and came over to see what all the fuss was about. The big water fountain. How are we going to get him out? The middle-aged lady asked. The young couple had no idea. Cheer up, they called out, and dropped a half-eaten cheese sandwich down the hole. Do you think that's going to help? Maybe if the duck was hungry, but oh no, but look, it came down so fast it clonked him on the neck. Well, that's not much of a help, is it? A policeman arrived. He knew exactly what to do. He lowered his whistle down the hole on the end of a long piece of string. Here, he shouted, grab hold of this. Could he grab hold of the whistle? Would he know? But Alexander did not grab hold. Alexander did not hear. Alexander was asleep, so exhausted. A small boy and his mother joined the crowd. A feeble quack came from deep down in the hole. How were they going to get him out? Oh no. And then, before anybody could stop him, the small boy tipped his drink down the hole. Yeah, now you go on and drown the poor little blighter, shouted the young man with the long arms. And they all tried to peer down the deep, dark hole to see, looking from the little duck up to the top of the hole. Everyone started talking at once. They all wanted to rescue Alexander, but how were they going to do it? From their basket, the young picnickers handed out 2 cups, 2 plastic bags, 1 lunchbox and 1 thermos flask. Where's the thermos flask? Here, there's a thermos flask. The small boy still held his empty drink can. Then, ducks and all, they pranced in one long, shaky line to the Archibald Fountain, this big fountain that we saw a little bit earlier. What are they going to do? Now dipping and tipping, skipping and dripping, quacking and flapping, dripping and skipping, from the fountain to the hole and back again they danced. Look, they were putting the water down the hole. I wonder what that was for. What could that do to help him? Well, slowly the level of the water rose. And what do ducks like to do? They can float, they can swim in the water and they float. It rose and rose and rose, and the poor mummy, she's just frantic. A little baby. Up and up and up until, look, he's nearly at the top. Out pops Alexander, like the cork out of a bottle. Boop! His mother flapped and flapped and quacked, and all his brothers and sisters flapped and flapped and quacked and quacked. Huh. Such joyful quacking, such happy flapping. Their baby, their brother was back. And when the celebrations were over, they set off, still quacking and flapping, back across College Street, where the policeman stopped the traffic. A long art gallery road. Well, he's still not paying attention though, is he? Not sure if he's learnt anything. Through the iron gates, past the bottle tree. Oh, there's some sulphur-crested cockatoos. We get those here, Benji, at home. And got safely home in time for tea. Quack, quack, quack. There we go. And back to the lovely pond that's in the Botanic Gardens in Sydney. So Benji, that's the end of the story. That's Alexander's outing. It's a wonderful story taking place in Sydney. Hope you liked it, and I will read another story to you very, very soon. Bye.